Senior Moments, a production of the Plainfield-Guilford Township Public Library. I'm Nick, and I'm here to share with you some food for thought and some food for fun for this week. There's no two ways around it. This has been a brutal year. This week, though, I don't want you to dwell on that. Spend the next couple of weeks at the end of this year and at the beginning of next year celebrating. We made it through. Enjoy a great meal, either cooked by you or by somebody else. Curl up with a book or a movie that you've been anxious to read or watch, or an old favorite that makes you comfortable. Call your friends and family and look forward to the good things to come. It's the holiday season, so it's the time to be joyful. I hope the next couple of weeks are filled with enjoyment and nothing but. Celebrate. Some jokes. I've chosen a couple of winter-themed selections. This first one involves two gentlemen who are out ice fishing in the middle of the winter. One guy is out there a ways, and he's having absolutely no luck. The fish aren't biting, just not a good day. The other guy, however, every time he put his line in, was catching fish. So the unlucky guy calls over to the guy who was having all the luck. Hey, what are you using for bait? The lucky guy replies, the other guy calls back, what? And louder, he hears the lucky fisherman reply, the unlucky guy, loath to leave his fishing spot, gingerly walks up to his compadre, and says, I couldn't understand you at all. And the lucky fisherman spits into his hands and says, you gotta keep your bait warm. And here's our second joke. So, one Christmas, John goes out to go and buy his wife just a little something for the holiday. He's notoriously a little short on money, so he doesn't know exactly what he's going to get. So he goes into the cosmetics section of the superstore and asks for some perfume. The woman behind the counter pulls out a bottle that's about $100. And John looks at it and goes, oh no, that's too expensive. And the woman pulls out another one that's about $50. And John says, no, that's not going to cut it either. And finally, she takes one that's $25. And John looks at her and goes, can you get something really cheap? So the woman behind the counter hands him a mirror. This week, for Where Did That Come From?, I'm changing it up a little bit and talking about some holiday traditions instead of some idioms. Things that may have become a part of the way that you celebrate this winter, but you don't exactly know where they came from. So poinsettias are a widely used plant in many settings during this season in the United States, but they're a native plant of Mexico. The early missionaries called the flower the Flor de Nochebuena, or the Christmas Eve flower, due to the fact that they flower during the holiday season, and they have actually been linked to Christmas through various folk tales since the colonization of Mexico. They came to the United States through botanist Joel Roberts Poinsett, who was appointed by John Quincy Adams as the first U.S. minister to Mexico sometime in the 1820s. When he went down to Mexico, he was fascinated by these red plants and sent some up to his greenhouse in South Carolina, where he began to cultivate them. Now, in the United States, the plant that he brought here, albeit just across the border, bears his name, but retains all of the same Christmas connotations that it had in Mexico. So, Advent calendars are now an entrenched part of many families' holiday traditions here. But the beginning of their use is a little bit more recent than one may think. There's evidence that they were used in homemade versions in Lutheran Germany somewhere during the 19th century. But their widespread use began in 1910 when publisher Gerhard Lang began to mass produce them. After World War I, in around 1920, they became a very widespread and popular item. And now, worldwide, you see Advent calendars that range from the originals, which had small gifts, to Advent calendars that present the user with chocolate, cheese, and alcoholic beverages. And now for Who Am I? I'm going to give you 5 clues to guess a famous person from the Golden Era. See how many clues it takes for you to get who it is. Clue number 1. He was born in Iowa in 1927, but grew up in Cincinnati before graduating from high school in Los Angeles, where the family moved due to the success of the singing group he was in with his 3 brothers. Clue number 2. Once out on the West Coast, the 4 brothers became affiliated with singer and actress Kay Thompson, appearing on the soundtracks of MGM productions such as The Harvey Girls and Good News, with her before relocating to Las Vegas as part of her nightclub act. Eventually, the brothers broke up, but the one we're talking about remained a protege of Thompson's. Clue number 3. His solo career began in the 1950s, and he made it into the top 10 charts with his 3rd single, Canadian Sunset. His only number 1 hit, Butterfly, followed it in 1957. He moved to Columbia Records in 1962, where he began to release several well-received albums, catapulting him to such lofty heights occupied by Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley. Clue number 4. At the same time that he moved to Columbia, he began a weekly variety show on television, which led to 3 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Variety Program. He quit the show, but remained on TV doing 3 specials a year. His Christmas specials were particularly popular. And clue number 5. In 1991, he built a theater in Branson, Missouri, where he became one of the first non-country artists to become entrenched in the town. The theater, named for his most famous song, has played host to not only him, but many, many other artists, such as the Osmond Family and Robert Goulet. It was on stage in Branson where he announced his cancer diagnosis in 2011, later passing away in 2012 at the age of 84. Any guesses? The person this week is Andy Williams. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you all had as much fun as I did. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep an eye out for more of our videos. And remember, always keep smiling.